Everyone, Jedi Mike here. We're back with another video. Today we're going to be reviewing finally season 3, episode 1, 2, and 3 of yes, Invincible Tradition. We're going to be doing that once again. We're not going to be doing that every time we say the word.
Yeah, but just expect a few times whenever we do say the word, you know.
All right, three times for season 3. That's it.
3 times.
Yes.
Yeah. We're good.
Yeah, for my fraternity, 3 for the founders. Yes. But anyway, but yeah, so yeah, this could be our spoiler review of episode 1, 2, and 3, spoiler filled. So if you haven't had a chance to watch the episodes, please go on Prime Video, watch those 3 episodes have dropped today on February 6th, and you'll be able to come back and just review and we can break down everything. And after this week will be weekly episodes, one single episode every Thursday, going into March for the finale, for the remaining 8 episodes in total. But yeah, so J King, you have now seen episode 1, 2, and 3. What's your initial thoughts on this? And we're back in terms of one of our favorite comic book properties right now. But yeah, what's your thoughts overall?
Well, they definitely came back in a very, very strong way, in my personal opinion, because post the shit that happened with Omni-Man and post the stuff that happened last year with Angstrom Levy, now we're here with season 3, and it's really pushing Mark into more of the adult superhero that he's going to grow into when realizing who he can trust and who's got his back. You know, he's got his mom with him, his brother Oliver. We'll talk about him this season. Eve's back. You know, everyone's back, but that doesn't mean that everybody that's back is somebody that Mark is very much happy to see. And you especially see that with episode 1, and very much halfway through episode 2 is just a huge status quo change.
Yeah, I feel that this episode, basically with this season representing, moving on to bigger and better things and stuff, but also later taking this to a whole nother level, not just in terms of action, but with the writing on emotional level. To me, I think this is the best season they have done to date. Me seeing the most of the season except for the remaining 2. But I would just say that that this is by far the best season that they have done, only because for a lot of other things, not only because the voice acting, you get some surprise cameos or new characters added into the season, but I like in terms of this emotional journey they're taking Mark into, and not only just with Mark but all the characters, like Guardians of the Globe, Eve, Oliver, his mom, it's like all that Cecil as well. Like all of this is now turning into a more of a I used the film Captain America Civil War type of division that they're adding in amongst this like entire unit of a team and everything, all these characters, because what they're if you read the comic readers, and please also mind spoilers in the comments if you actually read the comics and everything, what they're going to. And obviously if you see the title card of these episodes, they're alluding to something that's coming. Yes. So yeah, pay attention. But I will say that with this season, again, we have Mark, that his strength is now increasing into not max strength, but now he's getting older. Now he's getting stronger, and even then being quoted as the most strongest superhero on planet Earth by a robot, right? And so it's like you've seen that strength as he's testing his limits and everything as he's grown. And Cecil also training and pushing him, right? Basically, utilizing him to the best of his ability and stuff, right? But as we get into this, we also see Oliver, which I couldn't say much about in my non-spoiler review, who is the brother or half brother of Mark, and now you see that he's growing rapidly, right? And we see that now that he's actually have powers younger than what Mark did, right? Which adds a whole nother element to it. But yeah, one of the strong points of this first 3 episodes, again, Oliver being a new addition to this family, to me is, and kind of putting challenging Mark in a role where he questioning some of the ideals and morals that he stand on, and realizing, wait, these are the same points that my dad made. Am I saying the things that my dad said to me when he was trying to train me? Yes, not only being this big brother to little brother type of relationship, but at the same time also like being from this experienced hero now and trying to teach someone who's eager to join, just like he was back in season one. They done like playing catch and everything, right? I thought that was kind of seeing that parallel was nice to see. But what was your thoughts just on Oliver? Now his addition to this family and him now rapidly growing and now have powers.
Yeah, I have to say now that within literally they said within 3 months, Oliver went from like infant size to let's say 9 or 10, but still, it's like seeing his dynamic here is so different because, like as we said, Mark didn't get his powers until he was 17 years old. He had his entire life to be a normal kid, even though he knew who his father was. Well, who he thought his father was, and what type of world that the superhero life was, but he got the chance to appreciate both. Whereas Oliver got them early and doesn't fully have those values, or doesn't like he does, what's the word for it, he doesn't like care for those values in the same way Mark did, because again, same powers but different times of getting them and different viewpoints as well, to the point that Oliver sometimes does sound like he could be going on the same route as Nolan, which is a scary thought because episode 3. But yeah,
Right, because you cannot act like this kid who I guess you can probably put him at the age of like maybe 10, 11 or 12 years old at this point. I mean, just in terms of him, like, being, adventurous, not really following orders and stuff like that. But I don't know, maybe around that age. But I think it's kind of too young to make him like a 7-year-old. But it's like, but you want to think of maybe even body, yes, his race, grows rapidly. So yes, he is probably 12 years old at this point. And even though when the lady said, hey, you might not reach puberty, not tomorrow, but soon. So probably end of season 4, probably. Let's see, but one thing I also like to again is what's the mother's name is Debbie, correct?
yes,
Yeah. So yeah, like now the fact that she's being a mother now to another child, which is kind of also helping her cope, with everything that happened with Nolan. But at the same time, it's like she's still trying to struggle how to move forward, right? And just as Mark is trying to move forward in his life too, and then relationally, it's kind of seeing nice to have that mother and son, dynamic of like, hey, we're trying to move on with our lives, and then having their, she's starting to go out dating now, and then Mark also trying to take a leap of faith and trying to, ask, Eve out, right? But also kind of dealing with, yeah, well, I did talk to her future version of herself, and she's kind of telling me to do this. And listen, by the way, we all know we didn't make dumb decisions, but I just like the fact that they didn't drag that mess on. Like, yes, we got all the first 3 episodes at once, but I like the fact they didn't drag that story beat like long to entire season, like some type CW type stuff, because they were very frustrating. I like, yeah, she's right to be angry, right to be upset, but then eventually over time she got over it. But then she explained, no, I wasn't just angry, I was just embarrassed. And then we just like, it was a hard pill to swallow, but then we, took a deep breath, leap of faith, and we move forward because we do care for each other, right? And I thought that there was a level of maturity with the writing of these characters that yet, they were making, some of them were making dumb decisions, but at the same time, it's like they're grown, they're not kids anymore, even though they're like 19 at this point or so. But like, yeah, they're evolving because they've been through so much together. Yeah, what was your thoughts in terms of Eve, as like now she's doing this new aspect of her life? Now she's trying to go to school for architecture and trying to actually reconcile with her parents and everything, but now also accept, trying to her feelings for Mark and vocalize them.
No, I like, so far 3 episodes in, I'm very proud of what Eve is doing, because as we like, she's going on a journey to basically better herself. After the first 2 seasons and after the Adam Eve special that we got, it's just so good for her to be like, no, this is the life I want to do, but I'm also going to take a step back. I'm not going to be doing too much hero stuff, but I will be helping out. I'm going to go to school so I can not only learn this, but also be able to better my powers. And I'm going to give this ultimatum to my parents. It's like, look, we're not dealing with this anymore, so it's going to be this or it's got to be that. She's stepping up for herself and being a grown ish woman, and I'm happy for her. And I'm also happy that her and Mark are finally together. Like, if y'all saw my face when finally they accepted each other. But yeah, like, I'm just glad Eve is taking charge of her life, and that both her and Mark are trying their best to take charge of their lives.
Yeah, and I like that they at least addressed the whole thing with Amber, and because Amber got so much heat, for the first 2 seasons, and rightfully so, because she was pissing me off too. But I like the fact that they addressed that as women, just be mature about it. Because this is saying CW would have made this whole love triangle type stuff here with this whole thing, but yeah, I thought it was nice just to see that being positive. Like, listen, yeah, I know I used to date the guy who you're with right now, but like, hey, it's okay, you guys are perfect for each other, and just be, at least that's like the most mature thing I feel like she's done this entire show, in my opinion. But yeah, props to you, Amber, props to you for moving on and being a healthy woman. But yeah, so as we kind of get into now the superhero element of it all, is that they, we see the Guardians of Globe, they basically are now kind of being put in this position now, like, hey, they're seasoned, but we start off this whole thing of this stealing of the Declaration of Independence, and we get another new actor or join who playing 2 characters, but it's brothers. It's the same actor playing Sholo from Cobra Kai,
and of course Blue Beetle. Yes,
right. And they're trying to steal Declaration of Independence. We don't know much about them currently right now, but you probably know them in later episodes and stuff like that. But the Mick one, we finally get Simi Liu, and I believe what was his name? What was the character's name again? Was it Multi-Paul? Multi-Paul.
Yeah, yes. Multi-Paul. Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say, I know. I thought it was completely like Duplicate Drake or something. I don't know. It's Multi-Paul. Okay.
No. I knew his name was Paul, but
Duplicate Drake. I don't know. Like,
yeah, I don't know. I knew his name was Paul, but I couldn't remember. But yeah, Duplicate's brother,
Multi-Paul. Right. Yeah. And apparently it's insinuated that he's actually been a criminal for a while now. So it's like, yeah, it'd be interesting to see that hopefully he's just not this one and done villain. That we get to see more of his backstory, Boss's relationship with Kate. Kate revealed that, hey, I'm not dead, y'all, and I'm engaged. With the what's his name? What's the guy's name? I forgot. Duplicate, and then the dude that's old, immortal. Yes, that never dies. But it constantly gets killed. Anyway, but they come back to Guardians Globe, and then Rex is like, "Yo, what the f, man? Like, what the hell are you doing?" And everybody's kind of being, recouping from them getting their asses kicked. Rex got a new arm or hand and stuff, which costs a lot of money. Mm-hmm. Right? I hope he's putting to good use, I guess. Right? You have Shrinking Ray is also back too. But yeah, I feel like we get to see this dynamic back in this team after they're getting their asses kicked, almost nearly to kill. Honestly, right? But with this organization, that anything's possible. We can revive you. You can lose all your arms, all your limbs, even hell, you can burn your whole skin off, and we got you, right? If you're important, we're gonna save you.
We got the cure for everything. We got the
right, cure exactly, right.
You fucking die. We could just bring you back, but
if I just be a limb, if I just get a pinky, I'm gonna revive you, right? Because now you're not fired till I say you're fired, right? That's when I'm done reviving you, and stuff. But but as we get into this main episode too, as we have, I keep forgetting the villain's name, the one who went to who was attacking Mount Rushmore but got locked up, the rock villain. Yeah,
Doc Seismic,
right? And also he got a degree in gender studies or whatever, but apparently he was able to be in his cell and kind of taking the vibrations of I guess Hollow Earth or whatever, and kind of grabbing a bunch of other superheroes across the world and trying to plan this escape. It's like, yep, all the heroes are all taken except for 2. And it's been a minute since I read the Invincible comics and stuff, but I haven't seen some of those other characters in there, if they're from the comics or just original made. I don't know. But
I
yeah,
feel like
but
a few of them. I feel like a few of them definitely are from the comics. I would have to look back at this moment specifically, but like most of the time they are. So yeah.
yeah. So yeah, and then as we know, they're basically kind of getting their back against the wall here. Cecil has to call on somebody, a secret weapon, right? Not only just the animated people or creatures that he using the scientists for, from I think was it season 1 or no season 1 or 2 two the
It was just one.
it was one. Okay, yeah. I remember. I could have swore it was one. But yeah, and also bring back Darkwing #2, who actually was killing people, but now has been rehabilitated by Cecil. And Invincible doesn't like that. He's like, "Yo, what the hell?" He's like,
Right. Which I mean, you do understand why he's saying that, because it's like, one, Darkwing killed people. Well, Darkwing 2 killed people. Yes, we understand why, but it's like, that's not cool. And the Reanimen, regardless of the fact that it's not specifically how they were created before, we're still we're still things that hurt and tortured people, especially his close best friend. So it's like, he can't let that go.
Yeah, and I think that with him, kind of like being back in this team or in the spotlight, whatever, that was the moment that kind of questioned Mark, everything he knows about Cecil, right? And it kind of led into this whole, almost like runaway chase scene, going in from episode 1, episode 2, where like, Mark is Cecil's kind of cornering him and saying like, I have more secrets, man, but listen, it's for your own good. I've done this longer than you have been born. I know how people are. I know how this world works, and nobody, and it's not about your, it's kind of like that line from Thunderbolts in the trailer from what's her name, Valentina, when she's saying like, everyone keep thinking that there's good guys and bad guys. It's like, yes, there are bad guys, but then there are worse guys, right? So that I think that complex, where I was saying in my review, like, he's not like a Nick Fury, yes, in that role, and not like Amanda Waller to a point where he's completely heartless and a villain. But he's kind of playing in the middle of that, where is that you don't know which side he's going to go on, but for the betterment of humanity, making choices that, hard choices that a lot of people are not going to like, right? It's not about being liked, it's about being getting the job done, So and basically you have this fight, Mark is just taking all these people out, and then gets to the Guardians of the Globe. It's like, yo, guys, this dude, he's trying to kill me, doing his own Martin Lawrence impression. They're trying to kill me, but yeah, if you guys know that history points to you. But yeah, and basically it leads to the division of the Guardians of the Globe, where at this point, Mark defeats this devices in his ear, and he's telling Cecil, listen, if you come near me or my family, my brother or my mother ever again, I will kill you, right? And basically, but Cecil making some points like, talking about, well, Darkwing killed people, like, you've killed people too, Mark, or allegedly, right? Right, as we see here. But it was interesting to see how that division is, again, it was that like Civil War moment, right, where then that caused that separation between the team, and everybody was right. You understand, like with Immortal and Duplicate and everybody, like, listen, he's following orders, and Immortal already been with the Guardians of the Globe previous before Nolan turned, right? But at the same time, Rex and that Robot, everybody is like, they're making logical decision, like, nope, I'm staying with this, F this, I'm out, right? And creating that division. But then it's kind of preparing like how Civil War led into Infinity War, was like, hey, what's about to happen, well, in order for us to kind of give the emotional weight what's going to come out later on in this story, we're gonna have to break this team apart. And the reason why they failed is because they were apart, so they could come back together again. Like the same thing how they did with Infinity War, the Endgame, and all that stuff, right? This is their Civil War, the best way I can put it. But like this division between the team and everything. And I like this, how they kind of, everybody have that line that Robot said is like, listen, Invincible is the strongest, person in planet Earth, right? I'm gonna need him on my side one day. And if you read the comics, like that, like I don't even see where they're gonna apply that in season 4, maybe season 5, but I don't know about season 4. But it just that one line there insinuates like, yeah, like I'm going to need him one day. Right, it's like that's like where they're playing the seeds in that, like for comic readers, like you need to know.
Yeah,
I like
if
that.
you know, you know.
Yeah. But as we kind of get into this, we have Oliver now like trying to train or Oliver trying to wanting to be a hero, save his brother and stuff like that, right? And Mark trying to train Oliver. He had this eagerness to join, but he's like, no. But yet he's having this direct, like, he's not it is parenting, but at the same time being a big brother as well of like raising a child. Is that like you tell him that you're going to train him, but at the same time, anytime he does something, you say no, you should have done that. You go home, whatever, right? But then him is just like, I'm just trying to save my brother. But yeah, he doesn't know the limits of his own strength, right? And thinking that the morality of like, well, let's just kill him. Why can't we kill Caesar? Why, and those themes are being laid there, which I know continues on the rest of the season about what is right and what is wrong, and also what you thought was wrong before. You're thinking, wait, maybe that person was right. Maybe maybe Nolan was right about what certain things, not about actually the extent of how he went about it, but how he viewed certain situations. Like, no, if you're going to fight, you better go fight to kill. Like when they were fighting other Viltrumites and stuff, right? I felt like that was a really powerful scene. Like, to me, one of my best parts of season 3, when when Oliver kills the Moeller twins, which I guess one and done. I forget if they ever come back or not. But I would like to see that.
I mean, given the fact that he killed both of them, unless there was a third
exactly.
one,
He's like,
I think they're gone for good.
Right, there's a spare. Everybody is there a spare. Waiting to just like duplicate. I don't know. But yeah, there was with that scene, to me, I thought it was the most powerful scene of episode 1, 2, and 3 was when he, Mark got mad at Oliver that he killed him, but he's like, what? They're dead. I saved you guys, right? But yeah, he's covered in blood and having that, that just cold face of like, this is what happens when you're the bad guy, right? And you're just like looking like, yo, you are your father's son.
And it's even worse. And it's even worse given the fact that he's the fact that he has a costume now, but he's calling himself Kid Omni-Man, doing stuff like this with a deadpan like face, literally just saying, "This is what happens when you are a bad guy." It's like, it scares you because you're like, oh no, please tell me this is not gonna be Nolan Part 2.
Right, exactly. And when he was leaving, when he was flying away, but he was crying, right? And as a big brother, like, send me trying to fight you, like, no, I'm gonna hold you and say, hey, I shouldn't have come at you like that, but at the same time, like, there are consequences to what you do. And it's like, and then he making valid reasons, like, what, you ever thought that maybe dad was right about what viewing people viewing what's right and what's wrong, and actually killing people, like those things were like, what, you got a point, but it's coming from a mind of the body of a 12-year-old, or it's like of a child that doesn't know, that might be naive, but at the same time have some truth in what he's probably saying, because he just views it as simple, clear as day. But Mark is complex and thinking like, hey, he's questioning like, hey, am I a good guy? Am I doing the right thing? And it's just like emotionally just beating him down, right? But all that while Cecil, like when he stopped him, the fact that Cecil still was talking shit when he got him, like, hey, I'm just cleaning the mess your brother made, I see what the work you've been doing, right? And I'm just like,
Jesus.
I can kill you, 5 pounds of pressure right here with my finger, right?
Can we also talk about Cecil for a second? Because it's like,
yes,
episode 2 also gave us, before we continued into his fight with Mark that led to him saying like, we're done, we got to see what Cecil was like a few years back, and the fact that he wasn't that different from Mark in terms of values, and the guy that was literally in charge of the agency before him was saying the exact same shit that Cecil is saying right now when it comes to reforming people, and you don't waste, good resources, or I'm just cleaning up the like literally Cecil grew into that character, and you're like, Mark, please don't go that route.
Right. And I felt like that scene of him, like starting from his early days, like that entire episode was dedicated showing how he became who he be to the point at the moment he met Nolan. And I think it was also a thing like telling, like, listen, since day one, he knew that Nolan was lying. Oh yeah, my Viltrum, my empire government told me sent here so I can, be a hero to save you guys. And then pupils dilated. This motherfucker lying. It's like okay, he might be lying, but I'll keep an eye on him, get a file on him, right? But yeah, it just kind of just shows again how the smart intellect is. Yeah, he's in and stuff though. But yeah, I like the in terms of that scene again after all that experiencing that. Mark, Oliver, and Debbie just have a family moment. Just has a family moment to basically just bond together, but also to actually understand like where Oliver is coming from, and just knowing like this is the choices that we have to make and stuff, and stuff. Because that's honestly like I felt to me like after everything experienced, the fact that they got an additional family member, but at the same time it kind of like they're realizing the circumstances that they brought them to this point been so like it made them so stern and so hard-headed to a point where realize, hey, you're parenting a child here. You're being a big you gotta be a big brother here, not just thinking of your experience with your father, right? But seeing how things parallel, like you're not trying to meet by genetics. Yeah, you might do things just by pure subconscious, because that's just how traits from parent to child get passed down, right?
And let's not forget, like in this instance, he's trying to be both a parent and a brother, because it's like without Nolan there, he has to do both.
Yeah,
he has to do both.
Yeah, and not only that, also the fact that when that scene that they were talking again, the release end of the episode, that somebody was spying on them, right? Was smirking and lurking, right? Oh, sweet old happy family. Now we can kind of allude to who that is, but I know a black man voice when I hear it. But yeah, but yeah, probably Angstrom, and stuff like I forgot. Langston Angstrom, what is his name?
Angstrom Levy.
Angstrom Levy. There you go. Yeah, he's plotting something, right? And again, I can't give anything away, but might be alluding to later. But I just think this is going to be the most heaviest season ever. And actually bring Invincible back into the map.
Yeah. Again, there's a reason. But yeah, like there's a reason why. Like again, title card wise, they've all meant something. First one was the blood. Then it was the cracking to show what the new suit is, which looks good, by the way. And now we have it glitching into different color schemes. Comic fans, you know what that means, but those who don't know, make of that what you will.
Yeah. Now, in terms of like, we can speculate what point of the end of this season where they're going to end in the story, because I can't say certain events or character's name. But my thing I will just say is that the pacing of these episodes, where they're tackling big plot points, but it's not becoming convoluted in a way where it is not easy to digest as a viewer. And I'm not feeling emotionally drained, because you have moments of, laughter, moments of excitement, of good action scenes, and then you have moments you might want to cry or feel sad or whatever. But it's balanced though. It doesn't feel like trying to be like this emo version of Invincible. Like no, Invincible has delves with all those things, but in a very harmonious way, in my opinion. But overall, what kind of rating will you give for the first 3 episodes of season 3 of Invincible?
First 3 episodes. Ooh, good question. Maybe like a either a 7.5 or an 8. Again, we're still very early in as of the time of this recording with the first 3 episodes, and there is a lot that will be happening for the rest of this season leading to things in the future. But I say right now, a really good start to a status quo change and perspectives changing in Invincible. It's still very much the show, but as Mark said with the new costume, feels a little serious because it's gonna be. And yeah, but 7.5 or 8 out of 10. Really did enjoy this three-part premiere.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a solid 8 out of 10. Because I'll say I'm saying I've seen the entire season, but like the momentum builds up from this. I'll just say, like, in moments you feel might be heavy, like we're just going back to back. Like, no, they balance it out in terms of pacing you for what's coming. And I felt that the pacing was actually far superior than the previous 2 seasons, just in my opinion. So yeah, I'll give this a solid 8 out of 10. It was a good start, good way to end off, 3 episodes where I feel like I'm not cheated. This was good meat on each episode. The time length of each episode as well. This is good. Prime Video, you guys are taking note and you're learning. Learn from your mistakes from season 2. No more breaks for this. But aside from that, make sure like button, comment, subscribe, and share. Let me know your thoughts on episode 1, 2, and 3 of Invincible, and leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. And please be back here next week when we go over episode 4 of Invincible. All right, this is J King, Jedi Mike. We'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.